It's an area that has a lot of personality, and it's seen a number of headlines specifically for growth and development just recently. All that coming as the city of Covington itself is among the areas really fighting to keep its small businesses going with ongoing traffic challenges because of the Brent Spence Corridor project. Jack's Big Bite is where we focus in on one particular story happening in our community, a community we believe in with our partners at First State Bank. Stop into one of their local branches or visit online at fsb4me.com to access all the helpful tools and services at First State Bank, built on belief and committed to doing right by our communities. For today's Big Bite, presented by First State Bank, we're talking Latonia. My guest today is Billy Mockabee. She owns The Roost in Latonia. And I wanted to shine a spotlight on that specific part of northern Kentucky. It's an area that has a lot of personality, and it's seen a number of headlines specifically for growth and development just recently. All that coming as the city of Covington itself is among the areas really fighting to keep its small businesses going with ongoing traffic challenges because of the Brent Spence Corridor project. Here's an overview from the city itself.
I moved here from California because I am a paper and photographs conservator, and Covington really showed a great need for my types of services. There's such a rich history here of people's archives and collections that need a lot of TLC, and there was the need, so I'm here to fill that. I think Latonia is a really neat place, like many of the other neighborhoods in Covington. There's so many different kinds of architectural styles that span such a great time period that I'm always surprised that I can find something unique and new even on a street that I've been walking for a whole year. I think one of the most quirky and endearing things about this city is the amount of public art that's available. Just the murals on so many buildings. It was one of the reasons why I actually wanted to move to this city, because it's a place that really values and invests in artwork, which is encouraging for someone like me in the arts.
That is a nice overview right there. I would be remiss if I didn't highlight that last bit that was said, the idea of art being a reason to move to a place. That's a topic we've discussed a number of times here on this show. Latonia is an urban neighborhood in the southern part of the city of Covington. It's kind of its own little world compared to all the focus that the riverfront gets, so it makes sense that Latonia used to be its own city. That was until the early 1900s. That time, about 100 years ago, is when the Latonia racetrack was at the height of its popularity. Posts about the history of that track and the Latonia Derby held there compare it to Churchill Downs and the Kentucky Derby. However, the Latonia Derby and the Latonia track ran into financial problems in the late 1930s, and it was replaced by an oil refinery, which was also eventually replaced by the Latonia Shopping Center. Latonia has a mix of homes, mainly historic, including cottages and larger homes from the turn of the 20th century. Also, a handful of large Victorian painted ladies, like we normally associate with Columbia Tusculum. Despite that history, median home value in Latonia is just over $174,000 in the neighborhood. Rent there, just over $1,100 a month. That is lower than most other neighborhoods. Latonia has the largest business district outside of downtown Covington. At its heart, you can see it there, the Ritz Corner National Register Historic District, anchored by 4 landmark buildings and a new Fountain Plaza that's been dedicated to those who gave their lives during the Korean War. South of there is where you'll find the shopping center. That's where the racetrack used to be. And Latonia has had some recent business news that I wanted to share with you. Construction near the Latonia Commerce Center was the first new industrial space in the city in decades. And this $17 million facility has since gone on to house, you can see it there, Keller Logistics, which earlier this year announced 200,000 square feet it was offering of premium food-grade industrial space. And you know what an important industry logistics is around here. In 2024, Thermo Fisher Scientific announced plans to invest $48 million to expand its lab space in Covington, specifically this industrial facility on West 38th Street, adding dozens of new jobs and expanding Thermo Fisher's research capabilities. The city of Covington just earlier this year pointed to that development as part of a multi-million-dollar wave of economic development in the Latonia area specifically. And there is more work being done. Covington has plans to expand its already thriving small business incentive programs, specifically expanding around the Ritz Corner historic area. That's a still from a video we showed you previously about Covington's business atmosphere. Link NKY, meantime, has a report from earlier just this month saying that Covington hired Clint McIntosh as a new member of the economic development team to specifically focus on Latonia. The small business incentive program involves businesses getting rent subsidies, forgivable loans for building improvements, and more. The expansion of it will see those loans for facade improvements go from $10,000 to $15,000 to get more owners to invest. And Covington already has $150,000 earmarked for other small business incentives for the fiscal year that just started on July 1st. That's the business picture, so all that, along with Latonia having some of the city's best recreational facilities, like the Bill Capel Sports Complex, baseball and softball fields there, soccer fields, or pitches rather, water park as well. Rosendale Park has both football and soccer fields used by Holy Cross High School. And for golf, there's the privately owned 18-hole Twin Oaks golf course. Latonia is a neighborhood in a city that's seen a lot of changes in just the last few months, and all that comes as it is dealing with a major construction project that's making getting around and getting to that area a lot more challenging. Certainly business owners know that challenges can also mean opportunities, but it depends on how things play out. That's your Big Bite.